Heaven's Dust 2 takes a lot of inspiration from the classic approach to atmospheric horror, incorporating a lot of characteristics that made games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill so critically acclaimed, even to this day, remaining firmly at the top of the list of atmospheric survival horror. But I'm afraid that it does it too well, as it looks to imitate everything, even the horrible backtracking and baffling navigational and inventory management issues that plague these types of games, as well as the old, odd puzzles that made no sense for solutions, as it isn't something you would really think to do first and eventually solve it by making a mistake after doing severe backtracking. The story continues with Steve from the original Heaven Dust, after a team of scientists mistakenly believed that virus in a vial of blood was the key to immortality. You are now in a research center while the obvious outcome occurs. A virus outbreak has taken over the entire facility and has now turned everybody into zombies. As you strive to find a way out of this hell, you have to fight and survive your way through a variety of classic style puzzles and fights. It clearly captures the vibe, but more importantly, it does not copy the tank controls like most games do, which is a huge relief because having that kind of functionality typically feels like an unnecessary and frustrating artificial difficulty layered on top of good atmospheric horror. Though I'm not sure how I feel about the visuals. I neither disliked them nor did I like them, but I definitely did not like the perception that it was giving me about the world around me. Using one of the first puzzles in the game as an example, you had to shoot a crane arm that would drop a crate, grab the crate, push it in front of a knockdown rafter walkway, then climb on the rafter, and then climb on the box. Walk around the fountain ledge, and then press a button to unlock the crane arm above. However, right next to it, there was a wooden box that I believed I could burn and just destroy like I normally do in these types of games, but it just took me for a loop, and I'm not saying all of the puzzles are like this, as some of them are actually really good and genuine. There's just a handful of them that do this. But of course, it's what you would expect from a game trying to emulate another game perfectly. You have herbs to combine, guns and armor to acquire and improve, grenades, and critical objectives to hunt for throughout the complex to aid in your escape. And while the puzzles aren't too frustrating, they're fairly intriguing and not too subtle, but also not too far out on the list of possible solutions. I like these types of puzzles. They make you think for a bit before you catch on, adding a layer of success as you progress further into the game, completing other objectives. This game is really putting me on the fence because I like the concept, but I don't like how it lacks uniqueness outside of the visuals. It simply seems like I'm playing a game from the 2000 era of atmospheric horror, but without any personal tweaks to make it feel distinct from them, and just feels like another passion project that utilizes too many of the same features without polishing any of the pesky ones. So if you do enjoy the gameplay of the original Resident Evil and Silent Hill games, I can see you picking this up rather quickly, but be wary of the complexity surrounding some of the puzzles, as you could wind up having PTSD from Silent Hill 3, Library Puzzle, or Resident Evil 3's Water Treatment Puzzle, so avoid getting yourself a headache.